This morning I'd like to make a brief commentary on Hammond's paper, The Secret Life of the CEO. It's interesting that many good executives make terrible choices, and perhaps it's the construct that is part of the problem. In a brief overview of this, I felt that there was too much emphasis on the CEO as the reason for decline. And the paper points out that in the fair weather, the CEO gets the credit. The bad weather, they get the blame. They're equally accountable in that they don't control everything. If we move along a bit, the next point is that the short-term key metrics are very attractive. Businesses, corporations are a slow-moving supertanker and cannot respond quickly to change, and yet CEOs tend to target short-term metrics, and the reason for this is the sandbox. 1993 saw a new investor-driven sandbox which changed the paradigm. Obviously, change in paradigm, change in rules, there's a temptation for CEOs to cut corners, to shore things up, do what they could to keep the metrics looking good. The paper points out that CEOs are not omnipotent and that their role is really to build a coalition or seek consensus, balancing the interests of everyone and dealing with grey. Their role is not to rule by edict. The paper goes on to talk about how the CEO becomes detached from the organisation, and as Mike Shanna pointed out the other day, the drones may know the most about what's going on in the organisation. Then the paper goes into a very interesting area, asking about honesty. There's a suggestion that too much truth is a bad thing. The truth about potential loss of earnings will affect stocks. It may affect the employees and certainly will affect customer response. And so the art seems to be walking that fine line. As we go on, we realise that we do fudge the numbers. We stretch accounting practices, whether you'd argue that's right or wrong. And it seems that the only rule is do what you can get away with within the bounds of the rules. We are pushing the boundaries rather than following a series of rules. And then they rightly bring up the point, does the CEO even know right from wrong? Here, it's easy to justify the crimes. This is the practice. If you justify the crime, it's not a crime. And I like this quote, Berger, if you don't know where the line is by the time you're a CEO, you shouldn't be in that office. And so, it seems that CEOs have an uncanny ability to operate in ethical murkiness. Then we go on to a sidebar, which isn't at the core. However, it discusses a parallel between the universe and business expansion. Well, the universe is ever expanding, so business is ever expanding. 90% of the universe, or the material in the universe, can't be seen, so why should CEOs be transparent? I think that's the gist. Anyway, thank you for participating in this experiment with me.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.